What's going on, fellas? It's your boy, the Giant Way, coming back with another video. As you guys can see in the title, I want to see how ChatGPT can help the New York Giants and what strategies that we can do to be a better football team. I believe that we need all the help that we can get. So let's see what ChatGPT has to say and how the New York Giants can be fixed. Let's take a look at it. So as you guys can see in the question, I just put, how can the New York Giants be fixed? So first thing off the bat, quarterback situation. Evaluate whether Daniel Jones is the long-term answer. If not, consider drafting a new quarterback or exploring trades. I don't think that we are in the position to really trade for a quarterback just because of the capital that we would have to give up. Um, I think if we were to trade for a quarterback, it would have to be a rather questionable guy, someone that kind of lost their position or doesn't really looked at as being the future for an organization. A lot of people have been talking about Bryce Young, but I just come on, guys. We already know that he's not the answer. That's the last thing the Giants need to do is go from Daniel Jones to a smaller quarterback that has to stand on his tippy toes to throw the ball. And I'm not trying to. This isn't a crap on Bryce Young type of video, but he's just not the quarterback for the Giants. Um, I think we can draft a new quarterback, but it just has to be the right person. We got to be in the right position. I do not want the Giants to reach for a quarterback. That's the last thing I want us to do, just considering the situation and what's going on with Daniel Jones in the past 6 years. So I would rather the Giants really either give up some more capital to go get the guy that they exactly want, or hopefully, things just fall in line with us and we're where we want to be. Offensive line improvement. Invest in building a strong offensive line through the draft and free agency. A solid line is crucial for both the run game and protecting the quarterback. Listen, man, I got a hot take, man, and a lot of people are not gonna like what I have to say. But considering on what's happened to Andrew Thomas, I think the Giants need to maybe thinking about drafting an offensive lineman in the first round, possibly, just because we just really don't know where AT is going to be. And we can't draft the quarterback and we don't have the offensive line protect him. Like, I'm sorry, we've done that multiple times. We've tried patching it, and it's not gonna work. It has not worked for us. So I would rather us just continue to invest in the offensive line as far as drafting a high pick. It doesn't have to be the first round pick, but at least one of the two, 1 through 3, a solid person that can come in and help. Just because we really are struggling with the offensive line position, and it's been an ongoing issue. So I know a lot of people are going to say I'm crazy for saying that. A quarterback is the biggest need that we have, but guys, we got to think about the basics of football and the fundamentals of football, and the fundamentals in the game is one in the trenches. Like, if we cannot control the line of scrimmage, we will never be able to have the long developing plays, have a quarterback that can get into a rhythm, be able to run the ball. Those are all things that we need to do to be successful to win games. And I know that's tough to hear, fellas, but we might just have to make that investment. It's going to pay off in the long run. In the long run, just because we do have some younger pieces. We still have Evan Neal. Um, Obviously, you guys know, if you've been watching me, that I'm not the biggest fan of Evan Neal. But I do think he does deserve a second chance, especially with the coach that we have, the new one that we have. I think he's done pretty well with the offensive line group. Um, but it is very unfortunate that our offensive line is pretty much dismantled without AT. So we really have to think about that. Like, that's got to be addressed. So we'll see. We'll have some extra money. Um, I think we'll have over like 200 mil. I'm not sure. Don't quote me, but I think we will in cap space. So I mean, we'll definitely have money to make moves. But again, we gotta go after the right people. Um, so hopefully, with this next part that we're gonna go into, it's the coaching staff. Assess the coaching staff effectiveness. If the team isn't progressing, it might be time for a change in leadership to bring new ideas and strategies. And fellas, this is where we are at right now. I feel like a lot of us are in this position right now where we are questioning what Dabes is doing, if he still has control of the locker room. Uh, this is a tough one. This is a tough one just because I don't want to give up on Dabes too early. I don't. I do believe that he does kind of deserve a shot to draft his own quarterback, but um, I'm just not sure, guys. Just there's just been some questionable things that he has done as far as some things in the game. Um, allowing players to play out of position, especially Azudu. That I can't get past that just because we all and don't get me wrong, like if you guys saw the blocking grades for we that we had from the last game, Azudu, I think Azudu was at the top, but I mean still like we are still putting him in a bad position just because I mean history just doesn't lie. So I would like to see maybe Neil there or kind of put Neil at the guard just because I believe putting Neil at guard will help our run game substantially just because that's what he does. I feel like he's a better run blocker. Um, but yes. So the next part was skill position players, enhance the skill positions by acquiring reliable receivers and tight ends and develop young talent. So the Giants have definitely done that. You know, we got Malik Neighbors, we got Theo Johnson, but uh those are definitely positions that we need to focus on in the game. Theo Johnson has been open a lot of times, and Daniel Jones is just not seeing him. We all know that he's focusing on Malik Neighbors, which is not a bad thing, but it's just that can't be your first and only read. If Malik is not open, you have to go look at someone else and get the ball to them quickly. Um, so that's a work in progress. So I feel like we got the skill positions there. I feel like Wandell's good in certain situations. He has been dropping the ball a lot. Um, Darius Slayton has, you know, I feel like he's going back to his old ways of being that player that can be a game changer for us, but also being that player that can like hurt us by with the drops. So that's a work in progress. We still got to get that figured out. We still got to be able to scheme our guys open. And it makes no sense if we have all these skill guys and we're not getting them open or we're only using them in short routes or running underneath. Like that's not effective. We can't win games that way. We can definitely move the ball, but as far as getting chunks and things like that when we really need them in a crunch, throwing it underneath is not gonna help us. We got to do better in that. Um, Defense revamp, focus on strengthening the defense, especially in the pass coverage and pass rush. Identifying the key free agents and draft picks can help. I think we've done that. We've gone out and got Brian Burns. Um, KT is kind of coming to his own a little bit, but obviously he had the wrist injury. I feel like Aziz is definitely fulfilling that need as at least stepping up for while KT's being out. I've always said that Aziz was going to push KT for that position, so we'll see how it goes. Obviously, I don't think KT's going to be right this season just because of the surgery and trying to rehab and things like that. Being in the trenches, you definitely need your wrist um, and your hands. So that's gonna take a lot of abuse up in there, a lot of hits, being in the trenches, especially in the NFL game. Injury management, that's kind of where we're at right now. As everyone knows, our team is completely dismantled because Andrew Thomas is out. I don't feel like KT is really hurting us too bad just because Aziz is stepping up with with his play. So I feel like we're managing injuries okay, but you know it shows that we don't really have depth in our offensive line. Our starting five was good. Our starting five was good. I feel like we really improved as a unit with those five. But now that AT's hurt, it's a complete different line. So that's super super unfortunate. Um, the last two ones that I saw are the last two ones that's on here is culture and accountability. Foster a strong team culture that emphasizes accountability and work ethic, which can improve an overall performance. If you guys have been watching the past interviews, man, there's a lot of blaming going around. Malik Neighbors is saying that he's open. Daniel Jones is not seeing him, which we do know is somewhat true. But even though when Malik is open, you got to catch the ball, bro. If you're gonna sit here and call people out and say you're open in those crucial moments when the game's on the line, brother, you got to catch the ball. You gotta put your money where your mouth is, and you got to walk the walk before you talk the talk. So let's make sure we holding our own self accountable before we start pointing out the finger to other people. And then it's just a long term vision. Where is Joe Shane really going to take the Giants? Um, I believe that he's a good GM. I feel like we're in good hands, especially as far as like money management. I feel like he does that really well, and a lot of people don't see that in the back end until he starts bringing players in. But I expect that we will make some splashes in free agency this next off season coming up. We don't know where we're going to be at with the draft, so I really don't want to talk about that. Even though I mentioned the offensive lineman, I have no idea where we're going to be picking, so it's kind of too early to talk about that. But it's just something to think about. But you guys, let me know: is ChatGPT right? Did is this the formula on how to be a successful team? I definitely would love to hear from you guys. So make sure you like and subscribe and comment and let me know what you think about this video. I appreciate your guys' time, man. Let's go Big Blue. I'm gonna holler at you guys later.